by Matthew Marolf in the halves of the singles draws that play on Sunday. 49 major singles titles are represented by the players that remain. Day 7 features a nice mix of new faces making big waves, veterans looking to recapture past glory, and two leading contenders for the title of GOAT. The round of 16 begins today, which is when the draw really takes a definitive shape, and favorites become more apparent. With temperatures due to remain cool, we should be in for some more tremendous tennis. Roger Federer 3 vs. Stefanos Tsitsipas 14. It's the first official meeting between the 37-year-old all-time great and the flashy 20-year-old newcomer, though they didn't officially play a few weeks ago at the Hopman Cup, with Roger prevailing in 2 tiebreakers. Federer has looked exceptionally sharp in his first 3 rounds this week, having yet to drop a set and having only been broken once. Mary Carrillo on Tennis Channel in the U.S. suggested Federer's current level is more like his superb form of 2017, rather than his slightly lesser form of 2018. Tsitsipas is the first-seeded player Roger will encounter, and it should be a lot of fun to see this clash of generations on Rod Laver Arena. Tsitsipas needed 4 sets to win each of his first 3 rounds, and has spent almost 3 more hours than Federer on court. Taking out the 20-time major champion in the best-of-5 format is a lot to ask of Tsitsipas, in only his second time in the 4th round of a major, but I'm curious to see how he accounts himself in this occasion. Rafael Nadal 2 vs. Tomas Berdych. Rafael Nadal, at Australian Open, Twitter. Nadal holds a 19-4 record over Berdych, and has won an astounding 18 of their last 19 matches. However, Tomas' sole victory in the past 12 years came at this tournament 4 years ago, when he won a straight-set quarterfinal. The courts in Melbourne are even faster now than in 2015, which should play to Berdych's advantage, though many have said Rod Laver Arena plays a bit slower this year. These two also met here in 2012, a quarterfinal match which Nadal took in 4 sets. Of course, their most notable match is the 2010 Wimbledon final, Berdych's only major final, which Nadal won in straight sets. Much like Federer 2 years ago, Berdych arrived in Melbourne after an extended injury layoff looking healthy and refreshed. And he loves playing at the Australian Open, where he's 7-0 the last 7 times he's advanced to the round of 16. Tomas has already taken out 2 top 20 seeds during this fortnight, in Kyle Edmund and Diego Schwartzman. The problem for Berdych is Nadal has also looked really good coming off his own injury layoff. With a new service motion, Nadal has only dropped serve twice to this stage. As well as Berdych has been playing in 2018, Nadal remains the favorite. But if Rafa is going to contend for this title, it's crucial to avoid extended matches. 4 or 5 set affairs could aggravate Nadal's knees, and Berdych is fully capable of making this a long battle. Ashley Barty 15 vs. Maria Sharapova 30. Maria Sharapova, at Australian Open, Twitter. The Australian #1 already has 7 match wins in her home country this year, going back to last week in Sydney when she lost a stellar final to Petra Kvitova in a 3rd-set tiebreak. Barty has won all 6 sets she's played this week, and has matched her best result at a major by reaching the 4th round, which she also did at last year's US Open. This will be the biggest match in the career of the athletic yet reserved Australian. Is she ready to overcome against the fierceness of the 5-time major champion? This week in Melbourne, Sharapova has played some of the best tennis since her return to the sport almost 2 years ago. Her 3-set win over the defending champion, Caroline Wozniacki, was especially impressive on Friday. In recent years though, Sharapova has often struggled to follow up such victories. The only previous time these two stepped onto the court was last year on the clay of Rome, a match Sharapova took in 3 sets. As talented a ball striker as Barty is, I'm not convinced she's ready to overcome the will of Sharapova. With speculation she may soon call it a career due to her lack of success, Maria will be keen to prove she's still a contender to compete for major titles. It feels like she's due for a run into the second week at a slam, and I would not be surprised if Barty is a bit overwhelmed by the occasion. Petra Kvitova, 8 versus Amanda Anisimova. Petra Kvitova, at Australian Open, Twitter. Wow, how impressive was Anisimova in her shellacking of the red-hot Aryna Sabalenka on Friday? The 17-year-old has everything: power, speed, finesse, and composure. Now that everyone is talking about her as not just a future major champion, but a contender for this title, will she remain composed under the weight of new expectations? Well, she'll find reassurance in her 1-0 career head-to-head against the 8th seed. It's Anisimova's straight-set victory over Kvitova at Indian Wells last year that first put the tennis world on notice. Much like her previous round with Sabalenka, this match will be almost all offense, from two of the WTA's biggest sluggers. Kvitova comes into this match on an 8-match win streak, fresh off her title last week in Sydney. That run also saw Kvitova defeat Sabalenka, as well as Kerber and Barty. Kvitova has only twice advanced farther than the 4th round in her last 16 majors, though Anisimova had never won a match at a slam prior to this week. I have no idea who will prevail here, but I can't wait to see how this plays out. Marin Cilic, 6 versus Roberto Bautista Agut, 22. Marin Cilic, at Australian Open, Twitter. Cilic is fortunate to find himself back in the round of 16 in Melbourne. He was down 2 match points in his last match, but luckily he was facing a player who is even more prone to choking leads away than he is, that being Fernando Verdasco. His opponent today has been anything but a choke artist. Bautista Agut already has 2 5-set wins in this tournament, including his dramatic match on day 1 against Andy Murray. Roberto also impressively defeated the 10th seed, Karen Khachanov, in straight sets. Just like Kvitova, Bautista Agut is on an 8-match win streak. He started 2019 by taking the title in Doha, which included a massive win over the world number 1, Novak Djokovic. Cilic is 4-1 lifetime against Bautista Agut, though Roberto's only victory also came in their only meeting at the Australian Open. The 30-year-old Spaniard prevailed in straight sets here 3 years ago. As tight as Cilic has played in pressure situations of late, I think Friday's comeback win over Verdasco will free him up a bit. And Bautista Agut will surely be feeling nerves, considering he is 0-9 at this stage of Grand Slam events, having never been to a major quarterfinal. Is Roberto ready to finally break through? The winner here will play the winner of Federer, Tsitsipas on Tuesday. Other notable matches on day 7, Angelique Kerber, 2 versus Danielle Collins, who had never won a match at a major prior to this week. Sloane Stephens, 5 versus Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Grigor Dimitrov, 20, with Andre Agassi in his coaching box, versus 20-year-old Francis Tiafoe, in his first major round of 16.